You're scrolling through Instagram, and suddenly your chest tightens. Your best friend just posted a photo with someone else, someone funnier, someone cooler, someone who isn't you. And before your rational brain can even process what's happening, something ancient and furious wakes up inside you. A voice that whispers, "They're stealing what's mine." Welcome to Briefly Science, where today we're exploring why your brain treats friendship like a zero-sum battlefield, and why jealousy might be the most misunderstood survival tool you never knew you needed. Here's the thing nobody tells you about jealousy. It's not a character flaw. It's not weakness. It's an alarm system that's been protecting resources for hundreds of millions of years, long before humans even existed. Before you had language, cities, or Instagram stories, your ancestors had one job: don't lose the things keeping you alive. Food, shelter, allies, mates, and jealousy. Jealousy was the smoke detector that went off the moment someone got too close to your stuff. Let's rewind about 300 million years. You're not you anymore. You're a small, anxious reptile hiding under a rock. You found a perfect spot, warm, safe, close to water. Life is okay. But then another reptile shows up. Same species, same needs. And suddenly, your brain fires off a chemical cocktail that translates to one thing: threat detected. This isn't abstract philosophy. This is your amygdala, your brain's ancient panic button, screaming at you to do something before you end up cold, hungry, and alone. Fast forward to early humans. You're part of a small tribe, maybe 30 people total. Your survival depends entirely on your position in this group. You need allies who will share food when you're starving. You need a mate who will help raise offspring. You need status that prevents you from being abandoned when times get tough. And here's where it gets interesting. Your brain evolved a prediction engine. It doesn't wait for disaster to strike. It simulates disaster constantly, running nightmare scenarios in the background like the world's worst streaming service. When you see your mate laughing with someone else, your brain doesn't think, "Oh, how nice, they're making friends." It thinks, "Resource threat detected," calculating probability of abandonment, initiating defensive protocols. Within milliseconds, faster than conscious thought, your hypothalamus releases a cascade of stress hormones. Cortisol floods your bloodstream. Your heart rate spikes. Your pupils dilate. You're not being dramatic. You're experiencing the same physiological response your ancestors felt when a rival approached their camp. But here's what makes jealousy fascinating. It's not one emotion. It's a whole emergency response team working together. You've got fear, the terror of loss. You've got anger, the impulse to defend. You've got sadness, the grief of imagined abandonment. And underneath it all, a desperate, primal anxiety that whispers, "You're not enough." Because that's what jealousy really is. It's your brain running a threat assessment and concluding that someone else might outcompete you for something essential. Now, your brain is incredibly bad at distinguishing between actual threats and social media illusions. That photo of your friend with someone else? Neurologically, it triggers the same circuits as if you just spotted a rival stealing your food supply. Your prefrontal cortex, the smart, rational part, knows this is ridiculous. But your limbic system, the ancient, emotional part, doesn't care about logic. It only knows one thing: competitors must be monitored, threats must be neutralized, resources must be protected. And this is where humans get weird. Unlike other animals, we don't just feel jealousy, we build entire narratives around it. We create stories where we're the victim, where the rival is evil, where the person we're jealous over is making a terrible mistake. We're not just experiencing an emotion, we're generating elaborate psychological warfare to make sense of these overwhelming feelings. And the really disturbing part? Most of this happens below conscious awareness. You don't decide to feel jealous, you just suddenly are. And then your brain scrambles to explain why. Let's talk about romantic jealousy for a second. because this is where evolution gets brutally efficient. For most of human history, losing a mate wasn't just heartbreak. It was a survival catastrophe. If you were female, you needed a partner to help protect and provide for extremely vulnerable offspring. If you were male, you needed certainty that offspring carried your genes. Otherwise, you're investing resources in someone else's evolutionary success. So both sexes evolved hair-trigger jealousy responses, but for slightly different threats. Studies show that men's jealousy spikes hardest at sexual infidelity. The evolutionary logic? Paternity uncertainty. Women's jealousy spikes hardest at emotional infidelity. The logic? Resource diversion. If your partner is emotionally investing in someone else, they might redirect time, energy, protection away from you and your offspring. Neither response is right or better. They're just different algorithms solving different survival problems. And yes, before you ask, these patterns show up across cultures, suggesting they're deeply wired, not just learned. But romantic jealousy is only part of the story. Because humans are social creatures, we also evolved what researchers call coalition jealousy. You feel it when your best friend gets close to someone new, when a colleague bonds with your boss, when your sibling connects with a cousin you introduced them to. This isn't petty. This is your brain protecting your position in social networks that, historically, determined whether you ate or starved. Here's something that'll mess with your head. Your brain doesn't just respond to real rivals. It invents them. It runs simulations constantly, imagining threats that don't exist yet. You see someone attractive near your partner, jealousy fires up, even if nothing happened. Your friend mentions a new coworker, your brain starts calculating, could this person replace me? This is called anxious jealousy, and it's basically your threat detection system stuck in overdrive, seeing danger in every shadow. And there's a darker layer here. Jealousy doesn't just make you defensive, it makes you aggressive. When you perceive a rival, your brain releases testosterone and cortisol, a combination that increases confrontational behavior. You feel the urge to compete, to display, to attack the threat. In extreme cases, this manifests as violence, but more commonly, it shows up as gossip, sabotage, social exclusion. You accidentally mention your rival's flaws. You create situations where they look bad. You poison the well without even fully realizing you're doing it. But wait, if jealousy is this destructive, why hasn't evolution eliminated it? Because it works. People who felt no jealousy lost mates, lost allies, lost status. They didn't pass on their chill, unbothered genes. Meanwhile, the anxious, possessive, hypervigilant ones, they guarded their resources fiercely and survived. You are the descendant of successful warriors. Your jealousy isn't a bug, it's a feature. A brutal, uncomfortable, socially awkward feature, but a feature nonetheless. Now here's the really unsettling part. Jealousy is contagious. When you display jealous behavior, you actually trigger vigilance in others. Your partner sees you getting jealous, and suddenly they're more aware of potential rivals too. It's like a security system that installs itself in other people's brains. And this creates feedback loops. Your jealousy makes them cautious. Their caution triggers your jealousy. Round and round, until both of you are trapped in a prison of mutual surveillance. So, what do we do with this? Because knowing jealousy is evolutionary doesn't make it less painful. You still feel that sick twist in your stomach. You still lie awake imagining worst-case scenarios. You still hate yourself a little for caring so much. The trick isn't to eliminate jealousy. That's impossible. Your brain will always scan for threats. The trick is to recognize what's happening. When jealousy hits, you're not witnessing truth. You're witnessing your amygdala's best guess about danger. And your amygdala is paranoid, outdated, and running on 300-million-year-old software. Modern humans are stuck in a strange situation. We have Stone Age brains trying to navigate Space Age problems. Your jealousy evolved for small tribes where rivals were real, immediate, physical threats. But now you're exposed to hundreds of potential rivals daily. On screens, in offices, in digital spaces your ancestors couldn't imagine. Your poor brain is screaming warnings constantly because it thinks you're still living in a world where losing one ally means game over. And maybe that's the real insight here. Jealousy reveals what you value. It's a map of your deepest attachments and vulnerabilities. When you feel jealous, you're receiving information. This matters to me. This person, this position, this connection. I'm afraid of losing it. That fear might be outdated. It might be irrational, but it's pointing at something real, something your ancient brain is desperately trying to protect. So the next time you feel that familiar twist of jealousy, take a breath. Recognize you're not broken. You're not petty or weak. You're a biological organism responding to perceived threat exactly the way evolution programmed you to. Your job isn't to feel nothing. It's to feel everything, and then choose how to respond. Because unlike your ancestors, you have something they didn't. A prefrontal cortex that can override instinct. A capacity for empathy, communication, trust. You can feel the alarm and choose not to let it control you. Jealousy is your brain's way of saying, pay attention. Something important might be at risk. Whether that risk is real or imagined, well, that's where your human intelligence comes in. And if you want to keep your threat detection system sharp while learning why your brain does these wonderfully weird things, maybe subscribe. Evolution favors the informed. Don't get outcompeted by someone who understands their own programming better than you do. Stay curious, stay suspicious of your own suspicions, and remember, we're all just anxious primates trying to protect what we love in a universe that doesn't care. See you in the next one.
What?